Hey there, are you ready for an exciting journey through the world of football? Today, we're talking about the 7 countries that have been banned from playing in the Football World Cup. It's always interesting to know about the history and events that shape the sport we love. So, get ready to discover some surprising facts and stories. Unusually, FIFA prohibits national teams from playing in the World Cup. So, when soccer's world governing body stated earlier this year that Russia would be barred from competitions, which includes this year's tournament in Qatar, it was a huge move. Because of its conflict in Ukraine, Russia has been despised globally, and this is also true in the world of sports. And before we start, I have a question for you. Can you guess which country has been banned the most number of times from the World Cup? 7. Germany. Germany was also banned from participating in the FIFA World Cup for some time following World War II. Germany was banned from the 1950 World Cup due to its role in the war and was only reinstated as a FIFA member in 1950. The German national team made its return to international football at the 1954 World Cup and has since become one of the most successful teams in the history of the tournament. Since then, Germany has become one of the most successful teams in the history of the tournament, winning the World Cup 4 times. 6. Japan. Japan was banned from the 1950 World Cup due to the country's involvement in World War II. The Japanese national team made its return to international football in the late 1950s and has since participated in several World Cup tournaments. It's worth noting that these bans were politically motivated and were imposed as a result of the actions of the respective governments during the war. They were eventually lifted when the conditions in the countries improved and they were able to reintegrate into the international community. 5. South Africa. South Africa was banned from participating in the FIFA World Cup in 1962 due to the apartheid policies of the government. From 1948 to 1994, South Africa practiced the racial segregation and oppression known as apartheid. The apartheid policies resulted in the country being isolated from the international community, including in the realm of sports. As a result, South Africa was banned from participating in international sporting events, including the FIFA World Cup. The ban was lifted in 1991, following the release of Nelson Mandela from prison and the beginning of the process of dismantling apartheid. South Africa was able to return to international football and eventually hosted the 2010 World Cup, which was seen as a significant moment in the country's journey toward reconciliation and healing. 4. Mexico. Mexico was given a 2-year suspension by FIFA for using 4 players who were older than allowed during the Global Youth Tournament qualifiers. Mexico missed the 1990 World Cup and received a 2-year FIFA ban. The incident happened in the preliminary round of the international junior competition. West Germany defeated Argentina to win the championship. England came in 4th, followed by the host nation Italy in 3rd. FIFA also disclosed that it is looking into Mexican soccer officials, who, if found at fault, could get lifetime bans. 3. Chile. The Chilean national team's Maracanazo occurred on September 3, 1989, during Brazil vs. Chile soccer match at the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. Roberto Rojas, a goalie for Chile, cut himself while pretending to be hurt by a flare thrown by Brazilian fans. In actuality, he had a blade hidden in his glove. Roberto Rojas, a goalie from Chile, faked an injury during a weird occurrence and received a lifetime ban. Rojas cut himself with a sword he hid under his glove. He asserted that the 1989 flare that Brazilian supporters threw at him during the game caused the injuries, though investigations by FIFA demonstrated that he had lied. 2. Myanmar. In 2011, during an Asian qualifying match against Oman, the team's supporters were abusive. They hurled rocks and glass bottles at the referee, Omani players, and the guest coach. To keep safe, the Omani team eventually made it to the dressing room. Oman's victory, which FIFA gave after the game with Oman ahead 2-0, knocked Myanmar from the 2014 World Cup. The Myanmar team was also prohibited from participating in the 2018 competition, but the prohibition was lifted in advance of the competition after an appeal. FIFA imposed a $23,500 fine on the Myanmar Football Association for skipping a World Cup qualifying match in Iran. The match was scheduled to take place in Tehran in November, but Myanmar abruptly pulled out of 2002. 1. Russia. Due to Russia's conflict with Ukraine, FIFA and UEFA banned all Russian clubs and national teams in February, effective until further notice. Numerous European teams, including England, Poland, and Sweden, have already declared that they would not face Russia due to pressure from other nations. The women's squad and Spartak Moscow were both prohibited from competing in this summer's Euro 2022 competition, in addition to the Russian men's team being denied entry to the World Cup. And that's a wrap on our discussion on the 7 countries banned from the Football World Cup. It's fascinating to see how political, social, and economic events have impacted the beautiful game. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed this journey with me. And now, before we go, let me ask you one more question. What do you think the future holds for these banned countries in terms of football and the World Cup? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time for more sports-related discussions.